Welcome to the Embodiment Conference. This is truly an epic event that is raising awareness and revealing just how much is happening in the world of embodiment. And this gives me hope about where we're heading as a people. I'm Amara Pagano. I'm the founder of Azul, a conscious movement path of personal transformation. I work with the body and the power of movement to awaken love and consciousness. Embodiment is a key to my work, and the journey of embodying the map of Azul is what facilitates the process of self-realization. I'm excited to sponsor the Dance and Creativity channel to share my love of movement and to celebrate the power that it has to serve our collective evolution. If you are interested in awakening your deepest potential or curious about the spiritual and healing aspects of embodiment, I encourage you to check out Azul. Everyone is welcome. I work with people who love movement and people who have never moved. Follow the link and you'll find 3 gifts for you: a 50-minute Azul journey, a special discount on our online embodiment training, and a free month in our upcoming membership program. So come, check out the Path of Azul. I'll be presenting on the main stage here and in the Dance and Creativity channel, and I hope to see you there. For now, enjoy the richness of the presentation you're about to see.
My session is called Befriending the Dragon, Dancing with Uncertainty. And I think that maybe Befriending the Dragon, Dancing with Yourself would be a better name for it now after coming from the point of having applied for this. Because uncertainty was really something that was coming up for everybody through the pandemic. But now I think maybe the thing that we need to face more than uncertainty is our own self, and to come into some kind of harmony with our own self. So I always like to start my movement classes with breath and with movement together. And I'm going to invite you to participate in all of this in whatever way feels supportive and nurturing to your body. So we are all different. You are already an expert in the embodiment of your own body. So listen to that. Don't think that I know more about your body than you do, because I don't. You know, you're the expert in your own body. So I'm just going to invite you to stand up and start with opening up your lungs, breathing into the space, and then you're going to exhale and just let your arms fall down. And as the arms fall down, maybe give them a little shake and give your butt a little shake and give your legs a little shake and just soften everything up for a second. We're actually shaking for me. We're shaking so that I can ground my energy a little bit. And I know that when we're in these rooms together, that there's a real transmission. This field of energy that we're in can be felt often, both from me and hopefully from you and the whole community of people working together here. So let's inhale, open up, reach up, get big and expansive, and then exhale. As you come down, see if you can soften towards the ground. You're going to go up with strength. So this is exactly the opposite of the way that we would think of it in Laban terms of rising with lightness and coming down with strength. But you're going to come down soft and easy, like a feather coming down softly to the ground. Just breathing into that. One more. Inhale, fill up, expand, get big, get large. And then exhale, let yourself come down and just bend the knees. And then before we befriend any more dragons, I've been at a lot of these different Zoom meetings since COVID started for a lot of really community-based, self-growth-based dance movement sessions. And one of the things that I feel the most moving is when people honor the land, that they start by honoring the land. So I'm going to start with that. I am in upstate New York, and this was originally Esopus and Lenape First Nations people. So I just want to honor the fact that my feet are standing on that ground, and that what came before is invited to participate in my body in this moment now, that I don't want to shut it out, that it didn't exist, but let it come in and let it move through and with me. So I also have ancestors in Norway. I have ancestors and family in Canada. I have family in Northern Europe, in England. So I also want to acknowledge my roots, the roots of my lineage. And Scotland and all those islands in the north. And as in this place, I'm going to make us kind of into a game, a ritual, and a class, a movement class. And I feel like ritual is really just theater or dance is sort of like ritual for secular people. So take anything I say that lands in your body and you like it, and take it in, and anything I don't say that doesn't land in your body, flick it off, let it go, be like, ew, what did she just say? That's not for me, let it go. So don't feel like my story has to be your story in any way. But I do want to honor earth, air, fire, and water and call in the directions. So I'm going to start with the east, and in the east is also the archangel Raphael, and that is air, that is breath. That's the breath that we all breathe together. So in whatever way, if you can face east or just hold east in your mind, maybe friends in the east, let that come and land in your body. Taking it to the south, my south, that is Michael, that is fire, that is spirit. So I'm inviting in, and we can think of these archangels as Michaela, Michael. I'm not a Christian, but I want to honor what came before. So I'm going to allow and engage in that archetypal energy. Taking it to the west, we have Gabrielle, and that is water, or Gabriella, and that is the element of water, and that water is participating in our body, hydrating our tissue. If I step into the Atlantic Ocean on this side of the world, I'm touching the same water as somebody on the other side of the world. So we're connected through water. And these ideas, a lot of the ideas that I'm saying are things that I've heard other people say. These aren't new ideas, I don't own them. I'm just taking them in as they work for me. And then finally, we come to Uriel, and that is in the north, and that is earth. Letting ourselves ground in the earth, letting ourselves ground, maybe in ourselves, that's bone. So maybe just giving ourselves a little tap on our bones, saying hello to that density of our bodies that is bone, that strength that is supporting us. So maybe just a little bone tap all around, wherever you need to know you exist, wherever you need some more grounding, just throwing some bone into that. And from there, I'm going to invite my 10 little dragons. And I'm just going to let them play with each other for a minute. I'm going to rub them together, creating energy, life force, and bringing that energy, inviting, I'm going to actually play with some of the people on the screen and you guys. So I want to invite you to start to play with each other, right? We are a community, and there are other people on your screen, or maybe you just see me, and I give you my monkey gifts and I welcome you into my room. And I just want to open up the heart space. So my dragons are just tapping into my heart space. And I want to connect to your heart space, right? If we could come into a little more heart space in community, then we are doing fantastic things. Yeah. So now the 10 dragons are just going to take a run through the forest. And in my forest, I'm feeling my dragons running in the forest, and my dragons are feeling the forest. I get this two-way sensation. Yeah. And then I'm going to shake it out, and I'm just going to sit down and talk to you for a second about what we have, and ask you a couple of questions. So feel free to come to your computer. So for you, what is your dragon? What does your dragon look like? What shape is your dragon? Maybe you want to answer this in movement in your own space, or maybe you want to write it down. What is your dragon? And if you're an attendee and a panelist, somebody just showed me their dragon. You can make sure that you have your chat box to panelists and attendees so everyone can see it. Hello from West Coast Canada. Hello from Brazil. Can we see other folks? The people in this room can see other folks, and we could take a few more people in the room. So if you want to be in the room, raise your hand. Today, my dragon is impulsiveness. What do you mean with dragon? What I mean with dragon is, do you feel like there's something that might be stopping you from moving forward? And if you feel like there's something that might hold you back, where is that something? Where's that dragon? And as we think about this dragon, this metaphorical dragon, what is that dragon sitting on? What is its pile of gold? What kind of jewels is the dragon sitting on that if you could create a relationship with that dragon, you might have access to? So the two questions: what is the dragon for you? And a hint, it's not outside of you. It's somewhere inside of you. I mean, and if it is outside of you, then I'm sorry. I hope we can start to think of what's happening as a wholeness pattern that we're participating with in all different levels. So just start to wonder and think about where that dragon is. And maybe your dragon you are friends with and they're helping you. There's a box in the upper corner gallery. There we go. Okay, we're just answering questions. Spontaneous creativity, improvisation. Chronic pain is my dragon, not being enough. Yeah, yes, exactly. Not maybe just something that holds you back from stepping into what your best life would be. So my dragon is often, oh, it's good enough. I can live with that. It's not my best thing. This doesn't quite fit, but I can kind of fit myself into this. Like I have spent a lot of time being in places where if I could just shed some of that stuff, and maybe that's by being very direct and letting go of people or anything else, I'm gonna move forward much faster because then I'm really in alignment. So here's my story on that. If I go shopping and I find an outfit and I'm like, well, yeah, I like it, I kind of like it, but I'm not sure. If I'm not sure I want that outfit, I do not buy the outfit. I don't want it. If I'm not sure, I know when I want it. I know when I'm in alignment with something. So moving right along, because I want to start moving. Our allies are also inside of us. So I think my allies are a sense of wonder. So let's start to move with this and let's just start to open up our body to engaging with our dragon in whatever way it feels like it's going to work for you. And finding our sense of wonder. Where is your wonder? Is it safe to enter into your wonder? Is your wonder inside or is it outside? Can you invite your wonder in? Can you nestle it in? And what happens if you start to nestle in your wonder? Where does that take you? Where does that wonder go? Or does your wonder want to reach out to see what's around, to reach into the space? And now the next question, where's your curiosity? Where's your inquiry? What is interesting? How do you reach into that? I suggest that it's great to come at this as a, who knows? I don't know where it is. I'm going to look for it. Let's have a search. Have a search party for that curiosity. If it's around you, if it's inside of you, is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Where's the curiosity? And then, where is your sense of humor? Don't take yourself too seriously. What is ridiculous and silly? So I want to invite you just to do some movements that maybe feel like foolish so that you can like let go of your idea of needing to look good. Like something really like, oh, ridiculous. So inviting yourself to like be weird, be ugly. And if you're in my room, oh, yes, I saw some feet. I saw some hands. I saw some faces. Yeah, play with the people. Play with me. Get weird. Find your sense of humor and your sense of play. Do something super weird. Ooh, it's weird. That makes me want to laugh when I do something weird. Now I feel very excited from doing that weird stuff. So the last ally that you have on your engagement with your dragon, or the last ally that I want to bring to you, is your imagination. Ooh. Where's your imagination? Where is it? Where is that imagination? And do you have any tools to help you engage your imagination? It's nice to have some toys on hand, some costumes, because then it's like you put on a mask, it's not really you, you don't have to take yourself so seriously, you can play a little bit more. Yes, I see a dragon head up there, amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna take it back in, and so this is just dancing around with these ideas, letting them play out in your body. I think my dragon now is the anxiety caused by stepping out of my box and facing it every day. My dragon is a performer who needs to be seen all the time. My dragon, too many ideas and not realizing. And being a pure, judgmentless being of light is also my dragon. Full acceptance of my past. Feeling understood is part of my 10 dragons. Nice, yeah. So we're gonna come to play with a resource that has been incredibly, incredibly helpful for me in the process of aging as a dancer and staying fluid and staying fluent and staying alive. And I've always looked for models of women who have that spark of youthfulness and delight as they age. And I have to say, I found it in a few of my teachers, and Liz Koch is one of them. And she's actually the person who, so Liz Koch is a SOAS lady, and I took a bunch of workshops with her, and she really talked about, she really supported everyone that she's ever studied with. Every piece of learning, she threw it out there. And I followed so many of those threads. And consequently, since then, I've done a bunch of workshops with her, and she supported me. She would, if I posted something, she would post it. So it's this idea of support that is, it goes back and forth. We reach out to each other. We offer each other without expectation. Just the knowing that the world is going to be a better place if we have some support, if we can support ourselves, if we can support our community, if we can support each other. So coming back to this resource. So I learned about continuum movement through Liz Koch. And let me say, prior to this, I am a maximalist. I have a contemporary ballet company. I did a lot of dance on point. And like, my idea was like, make the hardest thing possible and put it on stage, because it might be really hard to do. But if you put it on stage, you are gonna have to learn how to do it before it goes up. So, and actually one of my dancers is back here with me, and I'm sure she can attest to that. We have challenged ourselves a lot. So learning about continuum, after 40, I realized I needed to find ways to soften myself. I've been working in fitness, I've been working in dance, I've been working in theater. I did not need to become harder. I needed to become softer. I needed to become more fluid. I need to unpack the house of all the stuff that I've been forcing in there up until that point. And Liz actually did a session earlier today. So I followed that lead from Liz and went down this pathway of continuum. So I'm gonna just teach you a little bit about finding a resource when you need to come back into yourself, or when you're having pain, your back is hurting. And I have to say that since I've been doing this, I do not have lower back pain. I haven't quite figured out how to work it all out of my shoulders yet, but still, like I used to have a lot of lower back pain. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play with micro movement. And it's gonna be hard for me to move small, but I'm gonna try. And I'm inviting you, you can do this seated. It's probably gonna be better seated or laying down on the floor. So you might wanna just lay down on your back. And what you're gonna imagine is that your spine is actually not a column, but a river. And that river is meandering and flowing. And you're inviting a complete three-dimensional, effervescent, trickling exploration with that water. Trickling is not a great word, but I'm just thinking like bubbling up. So maybe it's water and air, bubbling and moving. It's your breath, it's your lungs, it's your heart, it's your organs, it's your gut body. It's all that internal stuff. And we're just gonna let it have its own dance. And I'm gonna be quiet and allow Anthony to play some music while we just experiment with micro movement. Probably mine will not be micro because you'll be able to see it really easily, but it could be so small that you can't see it. You might wanna see how small you can move and still feel it. and then let it open up a little bit. So we're working a little bit with growing and shrinking in that small, really three-dimensional movement from your tail to your head. Every cell opening up into that. So I want to invite you to use some maybe infinity signs inside your body, maybe circles, maybe the alphabet. Letting yourself move through those different patterns. And if you feel like you want to allow it to ripple out, you can invite the arms in. So I'm going to let the micro movement, if you're happy there and you want to keep coming into the internal space, you can close your eyes, stay there. But if you're ready to let that start to expand outward into space, then feel free to invite the full three-dimensional shaping of the body into it. You can stand, you can sit, you can lay down. Inviting deliciousness into your body. Asking what would feel good. What do I need right now? That's interesting. And start to participate with the space around you. Maybe you have walls. Maybe there's a table. Maybe there's a floor. Maybe there's another person. Imagining that you are calling your dragon in the most loving voice. You're calling to your dragon. Is your dragon a fire dragon? Is it a water dragon? Is it a heavy, dense earth dragon or a bone dragon or a metal dragon. Or all of them. Yeah, letting that come in. And just letting me know if anything, all of them, several of each. Yeah, there's no limits here. So let's use our imaginations. And our imagination is actually connected to the part of our brain where memory is stored. So when we can start to reimagine or play, imagine, we start to build new pathways and maybe start to heal some of those things that we maybe have maybe those little dragon scratches that have limited us. So yes, little dragon scratches. What do we got out there? A fire air dragon, a fire dragon. Which one was my teacher? So in, I've studied a lot with Mary Abrams and Continuum in New York City. I've also Elaine Calandrea, a bunch of people, Linda Rabin. Let's talk about dragons. What are you noticing? Fire and water dragon. Is your dragon scaring you right now? Or is it fun? Or is it not even a dragon and you're just like, no, I'm just dancing and it feels good. That's cool too. Like it can be in any way. And what did you notice? Did anything come up for you? My dragon is scary. More peace and exploding expression. So this is what I think with the, if you're feeling that the dragon is scary, sometimes coming in to self is a way to nurture. And so if I'm open like this, you can see my energy is radiating outward. If I just let myself cross and maybe close my head a little, I can come into a more, I think there's the self-care EYP, right? Hand underneath. But I like this also. Can feel both my shoulders. I can come into myself. I can rest there. So I actually want to play with this idea of radiating out into space like a star, like radiating out, touching all the stardust, and then coming back in. When I was studying Laban movement analysis, which was in 1995-96, I did the year-long program in New York. And in the middle of it, I had a dream. And the dream was that I was a point in space and everything was going out and everything was coming in. And it was a magical, like mystical experience for me. So what I wanted you to play with, only go out as far as you feel comfortable with, come back whenever you want to come back, but playing with this idea of growing out into space like a star and then bringing the energy back into yourself and bringing it in as tight, as curled up, as internal as necessary, as crossed over. You don't need to look at the screen. You can just take it in. And we're going to play with getting very big or just a little bit big and small. But I want you to really listen to your own body as you decide, which direction am I going? Have I gone far enough? Do I need to? So you can see I'm pulsing my way open here. There's like a waveness to that. Or I could just shoot right out. That might be what I need. Or I could cross. So playing with the possibilities of expanding, getting bigger, and coming back into yourself. So radiating out, reaching into the stardust, reaching into the space that is existing between us all. And as Deborah Hay said, there is no empty space. It is all potent. So letting yourself go on that journey. I'm going to get rid of my chair and get big and small. And always feel free to use your room as a partner. Use the floor. Use something unexpected. But let's play with growing and shrinking. So it's a very Laban idea, getting big and getting small. And maybe you want to stay small for a long time. That's fine. You can stay small for the rest of the session. Maybe you need that. And if you're feeling like, oh, it's scary out there, take it in, don't go out. Can you find new space inside of yourself? Can you find new space outside of yourself? Yeah. Nurturing, nourishing, taking in the sustenance that you need. Carrie, you just started screen sharing. Maybe you could stop. Or Danny, there you go, thanks. And now it's spotlight on you. Maybe. Yeah, now it's on you, so you need to, Danny, spotlight me if possible. Oh, you can see me. All right, it's just me seeing that. Ignore me. My dragon has arrived and is trying to control things from the ether. So I'm gonna take it in and sit down for a second. Oh, look at that, that's me. And I'm gonna open my gallery so I see everybody. I see you, Alyssa. And I'm just gonna have a nice, beautiful, beautiful, yeah, oh, look at you go, Sarah. Keep it up. Don't feel like, just because I'm sitting, if you're in the moves, keep it up. Like, there's no need to be sitting, that's for sure. Yeah, so for me, for my life, movement is key, and I need to do it a lot. And I need to do it with other people. Those are my needs. I need to move with other people. Dragon is soaring and enjoying flying like. It's fun, but others don't necessarily like its impulsiveness. Well, let's not worry about others for right now. Let's just say that this practice is only for you. And I like your impulsiveness. Soothing, it feels soothing to move with my dragon or move about my dragon or against it, whichever is coming up. Yeah, so we can play with resist or go with. Resist or go with. Let's play with that for a minute, just in your body. What is it to resist? What is it to resist? And then what is it to clear that up? Maybe you're just in flow and you're not resisting at all, totally fine. Or maybe you're in, ooh. And if you're feeling that way, maybe this isn't the right session for you, which is totally fine. My dragon does not get to the floor, too heavy. Maybe a chair for your heavy dragon. It's having fun with movement. It is having fun with movement. That's the whole thing. Making movement fun, making it alive in us. So I want to come back to another tool. And this is a tool that is, it's actually, I saw Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen do it in a session, and it's on YouTube, I think. And it's very much aligned with the dimensions, the 3 dimensions, up, down, side, side, backward, forward, vertical, horizontal, sagittal, which I actually do a lot of in my practice. I do a lot of like much more specific movement. But I feel like most people right now have had a lot of specific movement, and what is more beneficial is a little bit more free thinking and opening up. letting yourself explore in ways that are alive in you so that you become the reference point. It's not outside of you, it's inside. So this is the exercise, and it's a vocal exercise. So you can not worry about the sound you're making, because it's not about singing, it's just about sounding. When we use sound, we create vibration that goes through our whole body. And so and Bonnie did a beautiful version of this. I'm going to advise to stand up for this actually and move. So the three sounds are ah, vertical, ah, like you're opening up for the dentist. So this is a wider vertical than you might have singing, but just ah, finding the up and the down. Ah, so in your mouth, in your face, your ah, it's open. Ah, vertical. Ah. And then we're going to go with E, which is the horizontal, side, side. E. Just breathing in whenever you need to. If you get tired, just watch. E. Crossing and opening, finding resource. And then finally, we're going to go with the sagittal, the forward, backward, ooh. So a nice ooh that's radiating out, ooh. Ooh, Robin. Ooh, ooh, yeah, you feel that? We want to go to and from the camera. Ooh, and if you ever want to make your Zoom meeting more interesting, play with moving in and out of frame with the camera. Get your people to play with it. Ooh. So let's play between them all. And if you can, move your body in the same ah, oh, ooh, ah, e, ooh as what you're doing. And you don't have to go in the same version of what I'm doing, but I'm going to try and play around with it. And it could also be like e, ooh, ah. So you can play with rhythm, you can play with tempo. Ooh, 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 ooh. E, ah, 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 ah. So playing, you can also play with any kind of pitch, but just feeling what that shape of sound is happening in your mouth and giving it an echo into your body. Ah, wonder in my ah. I've got some wonder. When I go forward high, I'm in wonderland. Ah. Okay, so coming back together for a second. We're going to play with that in a minute. But how was that? What did you notice? Anything better, anything worse? Anything like, yeah, or, oh, I've done this so many times before. Yeah, just, where are you with that? Buzz, buzz. Yeah, feel free to share in the chat. Loved it. And look up her version, Bonnie Bainbridge-Cohen version is definitely different than mine. And since we're fighting dragons or befriending dragons here, I'm playing with it a little differently. Yeah, and the sound vibration is going to change what's happening in the tissue in our body. And at this time when we're all like doing so much of this or so much of this, the change of the tissue is really helpful, especially in those 3 dimensions. So we're going to use the same shapes of our mouth, but we're not going to use the vocal cords. So it'll be like this. And invite your face to dance. Give your face dances tonight. Give your face a chance to really become not you, become anything. And you can move it around. It doesn't have to stay, like we don't have to stay our bodies in those directions. Just play with. I love all you people who are in the room making faces with me. All right, yeah. So this is going to take us into our next move. And this is something that there are similar things in continuum. So I'm overlapping a lot of systems here and just using it to what feels good and right to me. And I found that this was very helpful in creating boundaries. So remember how I said that one of my dragons is the, well, yeah, that's good enough. Oh yeah, the table, it's a little bit broken, but we can have it, instead of going for like, yes, I want that table is exactly what I want, or the pair of boots, yeah, it's not quite the right color, but it's okay. And I'm not saying we can't be okay with all the things. We're totally good with that. But sometimes this happens in relationships where, yeah, that one friend, they kind of make me feel bad, but I feel bad for them, so it's okay. I'll let them, I'll sacrifice my energy for that. So, and because when you stop doing that, and God knows I'm not that good at it, you start to have your life open up in a different way. You start to have these openings and these opportunities where it's like, oh, this is the plate of food I really, really wanted. It fits and it's exactly right for me. So that's what happens when you go, not quite good enough, not gonna work. That's for me, that's my dragon. It's not your dragon. So this exercise has some resonance with continuum practices. Yes, Wendy, I see it's your dragon too. I think a lot of people, especially teachers, mothers, parents, people who are trying to do things for other people, have a hard time sometimes really going for the exact what they want in life. So here's the exercise, and it is, I just call it, I don't even have a name for it. It's being a dragon. And part of it is like about creating boundaries. And it's like, you get to make this throaty, horrible sound. You can turn off your camera if you're in here in the room with me and you feel uncomfortable with that. But when I do it, actually, I like to sit. I'm going to just get down on the floor for this because I feel like this is a really helpful position. Here I am. I'm the dragon. I'm on my pot of gold. I'm on my, it's not a pot, it's a mountain of gold. And I'm here and I don't want somebody getting into my mountain of gold. So I'm going to invite my dragon into my own body. And I'm going to get as scary with my own dragon as I can. Maybe I have a little rattler tail that goes behind me. I'm going to scare people away, or a scorpion tail that can come up and sting. Yeah. I have to say, I love playing with my dragon because it is so much fun. I'm going to stop playing the dragon for a second and come back to you guys with my chair. And I just want to also acknowledge this is Tonus Maximus, the snuffleupagus that lives in my life, who is also Anthony Senseri. And I want to just thank him for participating with us and playing music so we could have live music and not have to worry about copyright. And also it's just nice to have the energy of a person, and he is my art partner in all ways. So music is wonderful. So sparkle fingers. How are you guys feeling in your bodies right now? This is the thing that whenever I see a client, the first thing I ask is, how are you in your body? What's going on? What are you feeling? So some of this can activate stuff. When you start to do things that aren't your normal thing, things start to change, and that's not always comfortable. So coming back to those enclosed positions where you can nurture and nourish your own self, I really invite you to that. Or maybe just laying on the floor, stillness. We live in a culture addicted to doing more and more. Yeah, thank you. Enjoyed his sensitive improvisations, enriching. Lighter and refreshed, Gloria. Oh, my music keeps breaking up. Okay, I'm reading the chat and getting lost. So, how's it going in the room with everybody? There she is. Yeah, fingers, sparkles. Do we have questions? Are there any questions out there? There is a Q&A, and I can even look in it. Oh, it's gone. Strength, feeling strength. So one thing I also want to talk about is that everything kind of exists along a spectrum. Like there are very specific form-based exercises like ballet or even yoga, depending on who's teaching it and how they teach. And I actually love ballet. I teach ballet, I take ballet. And when I come back to ballet, I go, oh, okay, this is where I am. I know all the rules. I know what I'm supposed to do. There's a very specific structure that's coming from the outside mostly. But when I go into the more freedom-based forms, because it's still a form to do continuum or to do contact improv, there's still form there. But when the form is more about my evolution of myself and my deciding what feels good, there's real delight for me in that place. Let's see what we got. How would you release tension in the upper body through this style of movement? Okay, so that is the thing that I have. The upper body is, I'm such a good holder of tension up here in my shoulders. It's one of my mastery skills. So I'm going to quote Deborah Hay, her embodiment tip, turn your fucking head, which actually, I think that that's part of it. But I also think like, you know, as Westerners, we have very sort of rigid ways of holding our head. If we add a little bit more of an Asian feel to the way that our head participates on the top of our body, so like letting the chin maybe slide from side to side, and then let's really loosen the jaw. So this is like one of my more ridiculous exercises that I like to do, and it's called droopy tongue. And when I talk like this, I might spit all over the place, but everything is just okay. So like when I really relax my tongue and I talk like that, it's like droopy dog. But when it diffuses all tension in our relationship, whenever either of us is like, somebody starts talking like droopy, oh, everything's okay. So we hold a lot of tension often in our jaws and in our tongues. So let's take our dragons, the 10 little dragons, and just pitter patter. Let your mouth be kind of open, slack jawed, tongue loose, like tongue hanging out like you're just not the smartest person. That's okay. And then you're going to pitter patter down your neck and maybe around to the back of your neck, maybe up into your temples, trying to keep that softness in your head right here. There's also a magical spot that I discovered. Right, for me, it's right there. It's above my jaw, below my temple, right next to that little nub of my ear. And there's kind of an indentation there. And if I touch that really soft and really light, I'm not giving myself a hard massage, I'm just barely touching it. And I close my eyes. I can come into a much more sort of parasympathetic, soft space that is going to help me relax some of this stuff up here. And my energy tends to ride very high in my body. So coming down and grounding, like even when I'm laying in bed, I can feel like this buzz. And that's my energy pattern. It's very high and alive, and it's a lot. So for me to be able to really drop, closing my eyes, slowing down, talking slower, talking quieter, letting myself take it in, maybe a hand on heart, like these two places. And then I'm going to add one last exercise. I think we're coming kind of close to the end, but I have, thank you, 5 minutes. So it's actually, yeah.
You to speak to, someone asked about the lower back as well, specifically.
Yeah. Yes, I will. So let me stay where we are, and then I'll take you to the lower back. So we're going to just turn, actually, let's start with our eyes. Just your eyes. Let your eyes pan the horizon. So we're using that E space, that horizontal, but we're just letting the eyes do it. See what's around you. Maybe even look behind you. See if you're safe. When we look around our environment and we see that we're safe, we can let go of some of the tension we're holding. Now just take that turning of your head and make it smaller. And imagine that your cranium on top of your spine, that axis and atlas, which are like this, there's a knob up there and it's resting, is just like fluid and easy. And it just can be the smallest movement, like almost like you're not moving at all. If I come in to teach a class with people who are kind of resistant to movement, I like to start to not move. So I like to ask them just to move as small as they can possibly move, saying no, and just enough that they can actually feel that there is movement. Jaw relaxed. And then we can take it, the same thing, into a yes. But let's start big first. Let's actually look down, look up, let your eyes lead the way. What's down there? Oh, what's up there? And then bring it into that smallest nod that you can even feel. Keeping the jaw relaxed, the teeth slightly open, the tongue, droopy tongue. Close your eyes. And I also want to say, it doesn't have to stay in a perfect nod or a perfect no. It can just move in whatever way, just small, tiny movement in there. So gentle, so soft, so easy. Bring your awareness into that little space inside. Just being aware that there's movement. And seeing what else you notice in that space. So I want to get to the lower back before, and I'm just going to show you this by bringing my camera down onto the floor. And I'm going to move, and I'm going to show you what I do. If I wake up in the morning, my back hurts, I do this. And there are people who do this way better than me, but it's not about doing it good. It's just about giving yourself fluidity. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to pull this up so you can see better. And I'm just going to use that micro movement. I'm going to let my belly stick out. Actually, Karen Studd did a great exercise in her rotate, and she just had people circle their heads and their pelvises. But I want to invite you, that's a good starting point. I want to invite you to let go of any form and just let the body ripple and soften. Taking your time, melting, feeling ease. And this can be done seated. Lying on the floor is a really nice way to do it because your fascia is going to get hydrated by laying on it. And also you're going to get a nice little massage. And as we move, and also that fascia gets squished between your bones and the floor, that's going to hydrate it up. So it can be very small movement, very small, very gentle. And again, using the metaphor of your spine as a river. Just allowing yourself to soften and explore. And if you feel like, where do I go? Ask your body. And if the body doesn't say anything, and you're like, I don't know where I should go, imagine that it's saying something. Use your imagination. This is the greatest answer. If you say, what are you feeling right now? Well, I really don't know what I'm feeling. And you say, but if you did know, what would you be feeling? So it's the same thing with your body. If it did tell you something, what is it telling you? Yeah. So I think we're getting, within our time slot. I do want to say that I'm very reachable. I have a website. It is lauravward.com. I also have a glitter size. We're not supposed to give you all these things, but lauravward.com is the best one. And I've been doing something on Facebook called these Strange Temple Rituals, which are really about just honoring where we are right now, being in community with other people and getting weird. So that is searchable. We have a group on Facebook. And thank you guys for being here. Droopy tongue, 10 dragons, pitter-pattering. Here's one more for the upper body. Lay on your back with your arms up and just let your symphony play, whatever that is. And let them move as they need to. You can do it you can do it up, or you can do it on your back, however it works for you. And see how we have this relationship between our pinky, the base of our scapula, the head of our humerus, and our collarbone, clavicle. Let that whole symphony sing, play music together. Don't lock it down. Give it freedom. Oh, look at that dragon. Oh, I want to show you some dragons too. So here, that's a beautiful dragon, Sarah. Dragon. If you need to befriend your dragon, paint it. It doesn't even have to be a good painting. I've got this really ugly chicken dragon. And then I've got this really silly one. I just kept putting color on until it looked like something. So yeah, play, make some art, write something, play music, do whatever you need to do to become, to become connected to your dragon.
Yes. So thank you for that in its subtle, simple, and vibrant way of expressing and moving through ourselves. It was really beautiful. For those of you that are looking for things in between sessions, we do have the coffee house, and that happened. And also, if you're looking for ways to integrate more of this material, there's definitely ways to take this in and take our time, because there was a lot of information there that Laura just shared, and then as well as all the other presenters. So do consider buying the entire library, and you can invest well in yourself and also help support us here for the investment that we've made in bringing this to you, and a spirit of reciprocity and bringing greater embodiment to all of us. And it's 50% off until the end of the conference. And this video will be available for the next 48 hours. So you're welcome to revisit it again. And feel free to invite friends, and we'll see you at the next session.
Okay.
Wear more fuzzy hats.
You're gonna ask me the last question?
Oh, and what is your final keynote for embodiment?
My final note for embodiment is that the world needs you to share your monkey gifts. You share with loving kindness, and we receive, right? So whatever you feel might be holding you back, like, we need you. We need your heart. We need to connect to that. We need your artistic expression. We need your gifts that you know you have, that you're sitting on your dragon pile. So share them.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.